What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going for game week 23 in the Premier League. Start off at Goodison Park, Everton-Tottenham. I predicted a 1-1 draw, ended up being a 2-2 draw. Both the Everton goals came from set pieces, poor from Tottenham considering they're usually quite good at them, but Everton are quite strong from that area as well. Lucario found it quite difficult to deal with a lot of corners coming in. Richarlison is absolutely unstoppable right now. He scored two beautiful goals in this game. Two very different type of goals. The first one was more of like a poacher sort of goal. And the second one was just brilliant technical ability, whipped it from the edge of the box into the far corner. 9 goals in his last 8 Premier League games, so that is incredible. And although Tottenham won the first half and lost the second half, I thought they were much better in the second half. The first half they were really poor. Everton looked very comfortable. They were pressing high, easily able to get the ball whenever they wanted and had the majority of the chances. But in the second half, Tottenham got a bit more control. Maddison looked a bit more comfortable in the second half. But Everton did manage to fight back right at the end to get a point. And Mickey van der Ven also set the record for the new fastest player in the Premier League. Mate, the boy's just come back from a hamstring injury and he's doing that. That's incredible. Brighton against Crystal Palace. I thought it was going to be a 2-1 Brighton win. But they won 4-1. They were so dominant in this game. Brighton are now unbeaten in the last 10 home Premier League games, although they have drawn half of those. And they actually finally scored in the league in 2024. They hadn't done so before today. It was brilliant to see Buonanotte scoring. It was a really nice finish from him as well. Anyone else who plays FM will know how good he is. Brighton were 3-0 up at half time. It looked like the game was over. Elise was on the bench for Crystal Palace. He wasn't recommended to start because he had picked up an injury in the game before. Apparently he was okay to play 45 minutes. So Roy Hodgson decides, yeah, we're 3-0 down. He's still not fully fit. I will bring him on. And he got injured within 11 minutes and is now potentially facing 2 months out. Now, there's so many issues with this because, first of all, apparently the medical staff said he could play 45 minutes, which, if that is true, really poor from them. But Hodgson still should not be playing him when you're 3-0 down. Like, I get you want to try and fight and get something from the game, but he's not fully fit. You could aggravate the injury. It's unlikely the game is going to change. In the next 3 weeks, they've got Everton and Burnley coming up. Those are 2 huge games, and if they win both of them, they could really propel themselves away from the relegation zone. It's going to be so much harder to win without Elise in that team. Now, I quite like Roy Hodgson, but I'm starting to dislike him after this one. He needs to take some responsibility. He's the manager. He chose to bring Elise on. Yes, Elise could have said, oh, I don't know if I'm ready, but a player's always going to want to play. You guys as managers should realise, right, we're probably not going to come back into this game. We've got some really important games coming up. Let's save him for those. Apparently Parish has looked at getting rid of Hodgson, bringing someone else in, but very few managers actually want to join Palace right now because of the situation they're in. And they have been unlucky this season. You know, it's unfortunate for them that Elise and Eze have only been able to play 4 games together. And it's also very unfortunate that Decore picked up a really serious injury right at the start of the season. But still, their tactics are just non-existent. Like, they can't defend anymore. Their attacking policy this whole season has been give the ball to one of Elise or Eze, hope that they can run up the pitch and score a goal. There's no fluidity with them, just nothing about them, man. They're just terrible. I genuinely think they could be a championship team come next season. For Brighton, it's a really, really good win. You know, a brilliant way to bounce back after their horrible loss against Luton in midweek. It's really nice to see 2 local boys, Dunk and Hinchelwood, scoring in a rivalry fixture. Burnley against Fulham, I predicted a 1-1 draw. Once again, it ended 2-2. David Datro Fofana, on loan from Chelsea, scored 2 goals for Burnley to get him a draw against Fofana's parent club's rivals. With his assist against Man City as well, he's looked like a real good signing. I don't know why Chelsea have loaned him out considering they have really struggled to score goals this season. But he will be key if Burnley are able to avoid relegation, which is still very unlikely. Burnley do also have Trafford to thank for this result because when it was 2-0 to Fulham, they were piling on the pressure and he made a lot of big saves that kept Burnley in the game. Fulham did miss a lot of the chances and Leno made a huge mistake to let Burnley back into the game. It's a real poor result from Fulham, who were winning and should have been home and dry. And for Burnley, I mean, it is a decent point, although they did beat Fulham at Craven Cottage, so you could think they could have done the double here. Newcastle Luton, I predicted a 4-1 Newcastle win, ended 4-4, and what a blockbuster this game was, man. Now, I want to say Newcastle looked really complacent in this game because they looked a bit lethargic. It looked like it was going to be too easy for them. And Luton really shocked everyone. They were really pressing high. Barkley looks like a new man. Looks like the old Everton Barkley. You know, like the man who was meant to be a world-class player. He's playing so well right now. And Adebayo once again scored. He was a real menace. He was really good. The way Benny just breezed past Dan Burn for that penalty that Luton scored was just horrific, man. I can't believe that he's still playing when Tino Livramento is right there, and he's been really good when he has played. I really like Eddie Howe, you know, there's no hiding it. He's my favourite manager. I really do think he's fantastic. But he's showing far too much loyalty to Burn, who is just not up to the speed. Especially against fast wingers, you can't have Dan Burn there. He's going to get breezed past by everyone. But on a more positive note for Newcastle, they would have taken 4 points from these last 2 games. You know, winning away at Villa, I don't think anyone expected. I think if you said, yeah, you'll get 4 points from them, they would have taken that. It was also really nice to see Harvey Barnes back. He scored. Callum Wilson also back. Unfortunately, though, Gordon did pick up a knock in this game. Hopefully it's not too serious, and hopefully Isak's also back. And that is a real good attack from Newcastle. Miley was very good in this game once again. 17 years old, mate. No way. He's too good. And Newcastle probably should have won it late on as well when Murphy had an open goal, but he unfortunately hit it over. Although Luton could have also won it. And I do now think Luton are going to stay up. I can't even lie. Sheffield United against Aston Villa. I gave Sheffield United far too much credit. I predicted a 2-2 draw. Ended 5-0 to Villa. They were falling up after half an hour. Sheffield United, see you later. I'll be seeing you next season, hopefully. Douglas Luiz played some really nice passes in the first 15-20 minutes of this game, man. He's a phenomenal player. He's got everything about him as central midfielder. Watkins, phenomenal again. He scored, he got assists. It was a really good centre-forward performance. Bailey scored a really nice goal, as did Tielemans. And then in the second half, Moreno scored. Archer looked like the only slight bright spark for Sheffield United, and he came off the bench against his former team. But yeah, he couldn't really get a chance. He tried to create some for himself. Sheffield United are going to have any chances of surviving. He has to be playing. I don't understand why he isn't. Bournemouth Forest ended 1-1 when I predicted a 3-1 Forest loss. So that's a bit weird, but I did say in the last video that I could see it ending in a 1-1 draw, because last season Bournemouth won 3-2 at the City Ground and they drew 1-1 in Bournemouth, and the exact same thing has happened this season. Billings' red card was a bit controversial, but I think Rebecca Welch did very well, because on first inspection it looked like a clear yellow, but if you watch it slowly, I mean, he literally just scraped down on his leg, on like his Achilles. A horrible challenge from Billing. Positive for Forest though, because Murillo was really good once again. He dealt with Solanke so well, and the front four that I think is actually very good, you know, a Wanye, Elanga, Hudson-Odoi and Gibbs-White. I think that's really good, and they finally played together. Hopefully we'll see more of them in the coming weeks. They didn't show too much in this game, although Hudson-Odoi did score, but I think that could really boost them up the table, and they're going to need them to be firing, especially if they are going to be getting a points deduction. Chelsea against Wolves, I gave Chelsea too much credit once again. I thought they'd win 2-1, they lost 4-2. Now, although Chelsea once again just didn't perform very well as a whole, Caicedo especially, horrible, man. He was terrible in this game. Gave the ball away, just lazy, like it was a terrible performance from him. Sterling was also pretty bad in my opinion. Palmer did look very good once again. He scored and he played some really nice passes. But what a result for Wolves. I had to bounce back off the poor result against Manchester United where they throw it away in the 97th minute. And Mateus Cunha scored a hat-trick. Pedro Neto was unbelievable, man. He's just such a good winger. And I have no doubt that there will be big clubs circling him in the summer. A couple of lucky goals through deflection and stuff, but they were the better side. And they have got Hwang Yi-chan coming back as well, so that attack is just going to get even better. Honestly, I don't think Gary O'Neill was getting anywhere near enough credit. This Wolves team was better last season. They had Ruben Neves, they had Mateus Nunes in there. You know, like, we're not giving Gary O'Neill anywhere near enough credit. I had this team to finish in the relegation zone. That did a lot of people. He got robbed a manager season last year. He should be getting it this year if he can keep Wolves anywhere above 13th, man. Unbelievable the job he's doing. But last season, they're playing terrible football under a coach who used to manage Real Madrid and the Spain national team. He's meant to be good. Gary O'Neill's outperforming him by so many tiers, man. It's unbelievable. What a manager. What a manager. Manchester United against West Ham. I thought it'd be a 1-1 draw. Man United won 3-0. Now, West Ham actually didn't play too badly in this game. I think on another day they would have won this, but in this game they just didn't take the chances that they did get. Most of them came through set pieces. There was a big chance for Emerson, which he completely scuffed. At 1-0 as well, and then straight away Man United went and made it 2-0 after that, so it could have been 1-1. Kudus had a chance, Bowen had a big chance at 2-0, but Dalot made a brilliant block. But yeah, Man United, I want to speak about them a little bit. They look much better now. Højlund is firing, 4 goals and 2 assists in his last 4 games. Garnacho with another brace here. McTominay came off the bench to have an impact. Unfortunately for them though, Lisandro Martinez got another injury and it looks like he'll be out for a couple of months. But luckily, Maguire and Varane are both fit, so although it is a big miss, they should be okay still, especially with Luke Shaw back now. Phillips once again had a poor game. He came off the bench, but he gave away the ball for the third goal. Man United are currently in the top 6 as well, which is a bit mad considering how bad they've played for the majority of the season. But the last 2 games, against Wolves especially, they were very, very good in that game. And in this game, they got a very comfortable result. They've got Villa away next. Villa haven't looked as good at home as they had early in the season, so we'll see what happens in that one. And now the big one, Arsenal-Liverpool. I predicted 3-1 Arsenal. It was 3-1 Arsenal. Jesus, he didn't play, but it was such a dominant display from Arsenal. It was unbelievable. Liverpool had 1 shot on target. Martinelli was very good in this game, in my opinion, as well. He scored. It was a very, very lucky goal, but Liverpool's goal was also very lucky. But the way he just terrorised Alexander-Arnold again, man, like, I can't believe people actually think he's the best right back in the world. He can't defend. And Martinelli rinsed him once again. It happens every time the two play against each other. Jorginho came into the team for this game as well, and he was really good in the middle of the park. Declan Rice, once again, best player on the pitch in a big game. I can't sing his praises loudly enough. I love the guy, man. He is, in my opinion, the perfect player. I've said it before. I'll keep saying it. I don't care. People think he's overrated, whatever. No, he's not. He's one of the few people in the world that aren't overrated. He's so good. Ben White and Gabriel were also excellent in the Arsenal backline. Liverpool couldn't create any opportunities, really. And that's partly because their press was just so bad. It looked like they almost wanted a slower game here, because typically you'll see Liverpool, trying to get the ball forward really quickly. Arsenal slow it down a bit, have a lot of possession. In this game, Liverpool had 57% possession. So Arsenal are playing more fast-paced football. It was brilliant from Arteta there, man. He's very underrated. I feel like a lot of people think he's a fraud for some reason, when he's just not. Like, he's a young manager who's doing really, really well. I thought on the ball Havertz was very poor, but off the ball he was very, very good. Like, he got Konate sent off for 2 yellows, both clear yellows, by the way, if anyone is complaining about him. Should not be. He did really well, pinning himself against him for the first one and then gliding past him for the second one. I thought he pressed quite well. He made some good runs. On the ball he was a bit poor, which is something he needs to work on. But yeah, I want to talk about the celebration police as well. What are you complaining about? They won a big, big game against a big title rival, a game which they had to win in order to stay in that title fight. Do you know what I mean? And they passed with flying colours. They were so good. Of course they're gonna celebrate a win. What can you celebrate if you can't celebrate a win? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, well, I had to go take a picture for one of their cameramen. It's a moment that he won't forget. It's a big, beautiful moment for him. Arteta's celebrating at the end of the game. Of course he's going to celebrate. It's I can't believe people are actually complaining about this. Especially the Liverpool fans that complain about when Klopp celebrated 2-2 draw West Brom. Every single game that Liverpool win, he goes and fist bumps the crowd. Like, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? What are you doing? How are you complaining about this? And finally, Brentford against Manchester City. Brentford did on the double over Man City last season, but they didn't do it this year. I did predict a 4-1 Man City win. They ended up winning 3-1. Phil Foden hat-trick. I know I've slated him before because I do still think he's overrated, but I love you, Phil. Thank you. But Flecken in the Brentford goal was excellent. He made like 12 saves and got an assist. He's been slated by Brentford fans a lot this season, and rightly so. He's been quite poor, but he was so good in this game. City were very dominant in the game though. Haaland missed a one-on-one. He's washed, man. I can't lie. It's terrible. De Bruyne looked very dangerous. I thought Guardiola was very good as well. And that result between Arsenal and Liverpool means Manchester City are now back in the driving seat for the title. Neil Maupay did score once again for Brentford. I just don't like the blow, man. I just hope he gets sacked in this next match, man. I just don't like him. But yeah, that's what I thought of the game week. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon for another video.